But he's up against one of the best Protoss players in not just Korea, but in the world. He is up against Trap. Oh, somewhere out there, Gemini, he's tuning into the stream. He doesn't know why, but he's been... there's something in the air telling him to tune into the CranKy Ducklings, to tune into his boy in the finals.
Spidey senses tingling, and here we go. Speaking of the man himself playing for Kwangdong Freaks, it is the Protoss player who is the Enigma, one of the strongest players in the scene in StarCraft in general. It is Trap.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing TTP. It is Prince. Alright, here we go. Prince, he's been able to kind of show off his finesse in PvP throughout the entire night, but he's up against a completely different beast, and this time he does not risk going for that low ground wall.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of, I guess, look into a bit of a meta-analysis here. Like, if we look at Prince, he knows he's the underdog. He knows he's going up against, you know, one of the most fantastic PvP players in the world. What do you think he's going through his mind, and how do you think he's going to approach this series?
That's the thing, right? Because, like, I hope he doesn't panic too much. I think there are some players in this situation who would be like, oh my god, obviously he's a clear favorite, I need to be crazy, and they end up doing things that they don't practice, right? Like, they end up like going for like weird proxies or weird timings that they don't have a lot of experience with, just because like they think they have to throw things at the wall. So I hope he doesn't do that too much here in this series. I hope we're still able to see some of his more standard play, just because he's so good. But as you said, like, there are things that he does have to change if he wants to take down a player like Trap.
Yeah, I really like that you touched on the, you know, the aspect that he's a very good player in his own right. He's very solid in macro and PvP, as we've seen this series. Does he feel pressured to kind of, you know, switch it up? And as we see, he's going for this double adept opening where we have Trap going for 2 Stalkers. And I think that, I guess what I want to see Prince kind of do as he approaches the series is maybe limit the freedom that Trap will have going into this game, kind of stop him from getting any any momentum, and that way he can kind of put a damper on Trap and control and limit the variables that could, you know, affect how he goes in this series.
Yeah, I hope he's able to do that as well, and I think this may be a part of it. We do see that it's not just a double adept opening. There are going to be 4 adepts in total, and I imagine 2 more behind this, so 6. So Prince is committing pretty hard to this, and this is a kind of opener that should keep Trap on the back foot and keep him at home for the time being. There's always the potential that maybe, you know, Prince, he gets in and he gets damage done.
Yeah, and we see 2 sentries actually coming out for Traps. He's being super safe. He will get wind of this shade. He can run into these adepts here, but he's going to head on home, and I'm not sure if he's spotted the 2 extra adepts here by Prince, but he knows that it is a possibility.
Yeah. As you said, he actually is unaware of the follow-up 2 units, so he only knows about the first 2 adepts, and the thing is, from 2 adepts you can transition into sentries, right, for scouting information. So Trap, he's a little bit in the dark. We see him throwing down that shield battery here on the low ground just to be safe, and there are plenty of sentries for those hallucinations, so eventually he can scout and figure out what Prince is up to.
Yeah, we see Trap, he's kind of approaching the series as he knows he is the dominant player. We kind of talked about how Prince will approach it, but we see Trap, he's invested a little bit more into, you know, this 3 sentry opening. He's actually going to get this perfect scout off on his adepts, and the thing is, so sentries don't trade the best against adepts. They're light units. We see more stalkers walking in, and there's no really tech here.
Yeah, but I love this. The stalkers, they were trying to intercept the adepts, but they missed them completely. The adepts across the map, there are only 2 stalkers here to defend, as well as sentries, obviously, for their force fields. But force fields do not stop shades, and that's why we see a full wall on top of the ramp.
Yeah, we see a DP follow up here for Trap, and these sentries of Prince himself are going to get them sniped. No shield battery, that's 200 gas down the drain, and not only that, But there goes his opportunity to scout this Dark Shrine.
Oh my god, and the Adepts, they recall all the way back home just in time to kill a single Stalker as Trap now recalls. And as you said, now Prince has given up all of that map control, given up the ability to try and scout that main base. I was gonna say that maybe there was an opportunity for, you know, as Trap gets control of the natural of Prince, likewise Prince can also get control of the natural of Trap, but no, that's not the case. He comes back home and now he's on the bit of a back foot.
Yeah, I feel like this build that Prince is going for may, you know, work a bit better if against probably himself if he went for that low ground wall, because the high ground wall is a bit easier to wall off. And we see Prince is actually going to come in here with the shield battery and stalkers. Like, what's he going to get done?
He kills 3 sentries. 2, sorry. He's trying to kill the 3rd. He's trying to... No! He does get the 3rd sentry in the end, but does it even matter? Because, mate, Dark Shrine is about to finish up. We do have a proxy pylon as well. So DTs are going to be coming out across the map. And Prince, does he have any detection? He has 0 detection.
No, we had these 2 Adepts managing to get in. The probe was in position, but Prince just having a little bit too much on at the moment. And Trap's going to get a good number of probes here. Actually, it takes out, is that 2 or 4? I can't tell. I think it's
Prince has 4. Prince has
4.
Yeah.
That's correct. But as we see now, we have pylon at the bottom, and the first Dark Templar is running in.
A little bit of miscontrol there by Trap. He does reveal his DT, but again, Prince doesn't have a robo, he doesn't have a Stargate, he doesn't have a Forge, he has 0 detection and damage is being done. 0 mining at the natural base.
Yeah, he's actually going to put these bodies on the line. No really building to keep this Dark Templar out, but meanwhile a couple of Adepts coming into the main himself while Trap is distracted, and I feel like it's just a matter of time, however, until these DTs can deal too much damage to Prince.
Yeah, we do have a bit of some force fields being thrown out again, buying time, but no, the DT slips in anyway. The DT is now in the main base. More damage is being done. Robo is still on the way, by the way. Again, detection is nowhere near done. This is and that's it. GG.
That's it. GG. Trap is going to take game number 1. And that's a risky run, isn't it, when you open Twilight? Like, it's very versatile, except for that detection.
Exactly. Like, we saw Prince, he wanted to be the aggressor, he wanted to be the one to dictate the pace of the game, and there are weaknesses to that, right? Like, there are things that can be exploited, and one of those things is your lack of robo, your lack of Stargate, and Trap very smartly identified that, and it's a quick and clean 1-0 here for Trap.
Yep, as we go into game number 2 of this best of 5 series. Keep in mind this is the grand final, and we have at most 4 maps left, at least 2. So
there you go, mate. There you go. Oh. And we'll see who's able to take a lead or a further lead in this series, or if Prince is able to even some things up here. Some mana going on. Trap said nice try, and Prince said good job. I was translating what they were typing.
Yeah, Prince pretty much just saying, you know, you did well to stop that, and Trap being a little bit cheeky, but as we go into game number 2, you know, maybe a bit of mind games from Trap as well, but spawning in the top left position of Curious Minds, the Light Edition. It is the favorite, the fan favorite, the Gemini favorite. Playing for Quangdong Freaks, the Red Protoss, it is Trap.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Team GP. It is Prince. I'm shocked, by the way. Despite this map having the ramp, once again goes for the high ground wall.
Yeah, and we have to keep in mind, earlier in this series, Prince, he was the player who went for that low ground wall, wasn't he? So
every single game. Maybe
he feels like he can be exploited a little bit more heavily by Trap compared to his previous opponents, and it looks like just going to have a low ground wall by Trap himself, however.
Exactly. Like I think once again this kind of shows how Prince has changed his mindset depending on his opponent, which makes sense, right? Of course, you got to respect your opponent, you got to respect the caliber of player that Trap is, but this may put himself behind if he doesn't intend to be the aggressor or even go for, I don't know, one base play. I doubt it. I don't think Prince would do, he's not farmy, right? he wouldn't try to do that. But I don't know. I think I foresee Trap getting away with this. It's going to be on Prince to try and make sure he's able to block this expansion and maybe even, you know, not just get a gateway block, but even a cyber core. But no, never mind.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind it could be something stylistic for Prince. You know, it's kind of an economic play. You're kind of conceding that pressure. You're going for a one gate expand when you go for the low ground ramp. At least with this high ground wall off, he's got a little bit more flexibility if he's 2-gate opener, but on the same merit, that puts the pressure on him to get something done. And Trap is a very, very meticulous player. He knows how to respond to things, especially in a mirror matchup. He knows, you know, his race inside and out. So I think the play here is going to be on Prince and see how he approaches this low ground wall off here by Trap.
Oh yeah, exactly. The pylon finishes up. Are we going to get that cyber core? The probe is rushing down here. Can he get it? He doesn't go for it in the end. The pylon will go down and the Nexus will start.
Indeed, we see a Sentry, very kind of a economic opener here by Trap. These two Stalkers actually, they could maybe get a little bit damaged. We see a second Sentry coming. Probably going to see a trio of Sentries out of Trap. Meanwhile, we should be seeing the tech of choice, or it looks like a natural expansion actually from Prince.
Oh yeah,
very soon.
He's looking to expand, but he's opening up with 4 Stalkers. So again, he's looking to be a little bit aggressive. Maybe he can get some damage done. Maybe he can pick up a couple of sentries because the firepower here from Trap isn't really there. But he has a shield battery, so despite that, like, he should be able to keep his units alive.
Yeah, shield battery quite big in this situation. He also has enough sentries, I guess, to fully wall off his ramp and let that Zealot go down on these two Stalkers. Prince being a little bit conservative, just content with having map control, and as we see, a Sentry coming out next, and both players going for the Twilight Council.
Oh, but Prince, he throws down a proxy pylon here across the map to help reinforce. I imagine we'll see if he throws down a gateway as well, or if he's just, you know, again throwing this down just for some vision, as he does have a Nexus behind this. Twilight Council is done, and Blink is on the way for both players as they start at the exact same time. There's that gate.
They do indeed. And meanwhile, we see Trap is going to get the scout off. A couple of Stalkers almost intercepting that Phoenix mid-map, but we also see a Forge out of Trap as well. And everything from his opener kind of tells me he is playing for, you know, a bit of a longer game. He's on just 2 gates at the moment. Prince also on 2 gates, but his gates have been around for longer, which means he has got more units on the field if you look at by the numbers. And with this proxy gateway here, could it be scouted by Trap?
Yeah, that's the question. So far, it has not been scouted, so Trap has no idea. So Prince will have a bit of a production edge here with 3 gates in total. So he can be quite aggressive with that. And I feel like he needs to, because he's going to fall behind in upgrades soon once we get into the mid game. Like, +1 attack is on the way, as well as that Robo as well. So Trap's army is just going to get better and better as time goes on. Prince has got to make something happen here and now with what he has.
Indeed, and if you look at the way that Trap's kind of walling off, you know, that his natural, he's making this kind of choke, which forces Prince into this like certain little kind of crevice where he's going to have a bit more of a concave to shoot at these units. But meanwhile, this Phoenix are going to scout these Stalkers here, and with Blink about to finish up, and this Phoenix for vision, he could get in the main here, like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there are 2 shield batteries here in the natural, but there are 0 shield batteries in the main base. We have high ground vision, we have Blink, and he goes in!
Does, and he can one-shot these Stalkers, 2 going down so far. Guardian Shield preventing the next one-shot, but it looks like he has got the control of this ramp. Meanwhile, 2 Adepts coming to the natural of Prince, and we're going to see some multitasking going on.
Oh yeah, exactly. So far, no control here. Boys are being pulled. Eventually, those 2 Adepts will be cleaned up. Meanwhile, Prince has the high ground. He blinks on top of the Immortal, and he gets the Immortal just before the overcharge hits it.
Yeah, he actually does get the Immortal, and the shield battery goes up, but they're out of range. And even though there's you know, some Stalkers here and the shield batteries with reinforcing Stalkers from Prince. It's looking like he could break this low ground position before this next Immortal pops.
Definitely. Overcharge was essentially wasted. We only have one shield battery remaining. The second one is run out of energy. Second Immortal is on the way, but is it even going to be enough here as Prince is starting to snowball? He does go into the main base. He is going to be, oh god, okay, he's a little bit indecisive. He's going to be trying to deny this upgrade, but +1, it looks like it may finish. Oh, it gets denied.
Yeah, he does just barely deny it, and he actually feints a pullback and then jumps in the Immortal and Trap with more Stalkers coming through the natural actually into the main. I think there's just too much here for Prince, and if he focuses down these Stalkers, these probes are going to have no support to take them out.
I can't believe 2 seconds. It was literally no, it's not in range. It's not in range of the backup pylon, so +1 is not going to finish, but does it even matter? Prince is still trying to force the issue. It's that third Immortal is on the way, and it looks like Prince cannot end the game. He just barely doesn't have enough to break him.
Yeah, it looks like Trap is actually going to somehow be able to hold here, but while he lost the sentry to those, he lost the sentry, so he can't hallucinate on another Phoenix to help him get in the main. He has to come through this angle where there's 2 shield batteries.
Exactly. Now we have an overcharge. Enough time has passed where it has been able to reset. Meanwhile, another pylon is about to finish up, so +1 will finish. Now with the upgrades, now with the Immortals, Trap is held, and Prince knows that, so Prince, he takes the third. Oh my god,
never mind.
He blinks up! Oh my god!
He blinks on, he's not done yet, lad. He's getting aggressive here. He knows that overcharge is on cooldown, but does he have enough Stalkers to kind of deal with the Stalker count of Trap with that extra Immortal?
Looks like it is not the case. If it wasn't for the extra Immortal, maybe he could have broken the back of Trap. Oh god, but Trap, he's just been on point with that Immortal production, just continues to pump them out, and he will be able to hold on. But again, I guess what I was getting at is that Prince, you know, he's not tunnel visioning too much. He is aware that he cannot kill his opponent, or he probably can't kill his opponent, and he is going into, oh, actually just even more gateway units. Oh.
Whoop. I don't think he's realized yet, but something really smart here from Prince. He recognizes we have Immortals coming out. He's using the Adepts to keep Trap's army at home. He is transitioning into charge, which means these Immortals will be less effective, and that's why you don't see him taking the gases. He's just taking a gas at the natural now, but Prince doesn't realize he's not mining with these extra probes, and it's an investment that's lost.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, yo, Prince, he has a massive worker lead right now, but does he really? Because that's a lot of probes that are just kind of chilling, not doing anything. What is this? 8, 10, 12 probes, 13 probes actually just idle here in the main base of Prince, and he just still hasn't noticed.
Yeah, and if we look at the income tab, Trap is in the lead, and when you're playing an opponent with a tech advantage, you do not want them to have the economic advantage. But maybe we'll see a recall soon. Maybe he'll realize, but surely he'll see now as he rallies more probes, and it looks like they're not going to come down either.
No!
Oh, there we go.
Finally, he has reckoned. That's such a feels bad, man. Like, Prince should have had a massive economic advantage. You know, sure, Trap would have the tech, but Prince would have the economy, but he just hasn't had it for such a long time. Finally, he's going to commence mining, but now Trap is already here.
Yeah, and Trap just about to finish up. Aggressive blink forward. Shield battery goes down, being targeted down by Immortals, and there's an Immortal for Prince as well. But with the probes, can he hold on to this position?
We'll see. Nice blink on forward. War Prism goes down. Immortal goes down as well. There's no way to help Micro. Boys are being forced off the line. They never got to mine. They have to give up their life to keep the space alive. But I don't know if it's gonna happen, mate.
Yeah, no, it looks like even though they're stalking out relatively even, there is that Immortal for Trap, and he's getting a third base behind this. It looks like Prince will hold, but he lost 12 probes and that economic advantage. It's gone. It's gone, mate.
It was never there, mate. It was feels bad, man. Those 12 dead probes, those were the same probes that were here in the main base. They never got to mine. They never got to live out their dream to make money here for Ire, mate. It just didn't happen. It just feels bad, man. Oh, God. And as you said, now we're equal in bases, equal in workers, but Trap is ahead in that tech.
Yeah, but the one thing I guess we can keep in mind, Prince has, even though he lost those workers, the worker count is still quite even. He's pumping out 3 probes at a time now. I'd probably expect he's going for that swap into charge, but what can Prince do in this situation? Can he kind of tech out, you know, get some Archons to supplement these charge lots, or he's only on 3 gas lights? Does he just stick to the plan and keep pumping out gateway units?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question. Both players are actually still on those 3 gases. I was kind of waiting for either one of them to start transitioning into Archons to help against the Zealots or into Disruptors as well. But at the moment, they're both kind of fine to just sit back and chill. And it makes sense for Trap because he's working on now on +2. So that's kind of like the advantage that he's relying on. Prince has to focus on something else, and I would prefer if he did start like a Templar Archives for Archons.
Yeah, it looks like we do, however, see that deviation. We've got High Templar Council coming down, but also 4 gateways for Prince. Meanwhile, just the 2 extra gateways and an upgrade for Trap. So, who does this scale better for? I guess the upgrade is obviously better for Trap, but with the Templar Archives, would Prince be able to have a chance to get back into this game?
Yeah, 100%. You know, depending on the Archons, depending on the control of both players and their army, there is going to be comeback potential here for Prince with those Archons. Oh boy, but of course he has to make sure he's able to get them out in time, and yeah, things may like settle here, and we may end up in an even longer game.
We could indeed, both players being pretty passive as the Forge is now dropped for Prince, but a scout coming in for Trap, he likely will scout. You probably even see the army and maybe the Archon that's popped. You will at least see the Templar Archives that Prince has, and as he gets his own Templar Archives as well. So looks like we're going to be transitioning to the late game here, Light.
Oh yeah. The first like 10 minutes of this game have been so chaotic, so back and forth, and in the end, things just settle down. We're just, you know, gonna chill, get into a longer game. Both players are expanding and taking their 4th bases. Both players have transitioned into that Archon tech, so they're both gonna be supplementing that army. But ooh, Prince is the one who already has 2 Archons ready. Trap still needs to morph in those High Templar.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on Prince's, I guess, unit composition. I like the Zealots that Trap has added in because he does only have 2 Immortals Trap, however, and these Stalkers maybe a little bit more longevity compared to, you know, if Trap had more Stalkers, but we see that's a lot of Zealots, and looking at the supply, it reflects on that too, Light. I'm not sure if Prince should be pushing up in this situation.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's forced to try and defend his 4th base. We do see a blink on 4s. A lot of the Zealots are getting surrounds actually on those Archons. The Archons are not standing strong at all here for Prince. The upgrade advantage is just too strong with hitting with +2. And Trap, he just demolishes this army.
Yeah, he does indeed, with a bonus to armor not working on Zealots, and GG. Trap will take game number 2, but what a game it was, like.
Prince came so close.
Yeah,
he came so close.
I thought he was going to break him, and then I looked at the supplier, and it was still even,
Yeah.
and I was like, hold on a sec, this isn't right. But he was very diligent with jumping on top of those Immortals and sniping them again and again and again, but just in the end couldn't get the trades that he really needed to tip the scales there.
Yeah, just barely couldn't do it. And Trap, his defense was just too good. He kept a cool head as well. Throughout all of that, he knew exactly what he needed to do. Maybe a little bit late on an overcharge here or there, but he was able to defend anyway. And now Trap only needs 1 more game to be our first Ascension Cup winner.
Indeed, and here we go. Prince, he's shown flashes of brilliance, especially in that last game, but when you go up against Trap, you know, you don't need flashes of brilliance. You need to be brilliant pretty much all throughout the game. You need to be the flash indeed. 2,000 atmospheres. We've seen some proxies on this map so far. Could we see him pull out something crazy? But speaking of the play, here we go. Spawning in the top right position. He is up 2-0 at the moment. He is a dominant force in all of StarCraft. The red Protoss for Quangdom Freaks. Give it up for Trap.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 Atmospheres LE, it's the young blood himself. It's the up-and-comer representing Team GP. It's the Korean Protoss. It is Prince.
And here we go, Light. We have got in-base gateways.
We do have our gateways in their bases. For the first time this series, Trap does not go for that low ground wall. He doesn't go for that fast nexus. So yeah, playing things a little bit safer here in game 3.
Yep, nothing too crazy. Slightly faster gas for Prince. Nothing really, you know, indicative of anything. Both players dropping their gateways as well. second gateways, and we get to play this game light. I am predicting a Stalker and a Stalker for Prince, and a Stalker and a Sentry for Trap. Watch this space.
What a basic prediction. Of course you go for the Stalker Sentry for Trap. Of course you go.
Light. when you're a master like me, it's not glamorous, okay? You wouldn't understand.
Oh god, but I agree. It should be a Stalker Sentry here for Trap. I'm more interested in what Prince is going to produce from his gateways. We shall see as Prince also going for a proxy pylon.
Indeed, he does. And as you pointed out earlier, you know, this could just be a fake out. But looking at the position of this pylon, that does look like something that has the potential to be a bit aggressive. Maybe even a Stargate here. But
It's too obvious.
We'll see.
Location is just, it's too obvious. It's got to be something else, right?
I think it definitely could be a Stargate, as we know. There we go. Adepts only cost 25 gas. Like, here's a little crash course for you. Listen up.
Yep.
You could learn from the master. 25 gas apiece for Adepts, so Stargate easy to afford. Meanwhile, 2 Stalkers, 50 gas apiece. We're probably going to see a Twilight.
Probably, as we did not have a Stalker Sentry opener from Trap. He did go for a double Stalker instead, so being a little bit more aggressive, and I kind of like this for Trap, kind of, as he's moving out across the map, but he may again end up missing this proxy, and we'll see if his mineral line becomes vulnerable, or if he keeps these 2 Stalkers in his base.
Indeed, and we see now, it looks like it should be an Oracle of choice. It could be a Void Ray, but you have Oracle more decisive of a unit. These Stalkers, their position to catch any units coming across the map. We've seen, so far Prince has been sending a lot of units across the map, and this game's no different.
Oh my god, exactly. All 4 Adepts have been revealed here as they do take out that probe across the map. Trap is not fully aware. He's turning around. He's actually turning around to meet up with the rest of his forces, but his main, shield battery on the way.
Yeah, and we see these Stalkers are actually going to pop right as this Oracle kind of comes in, even though they rally to the middle of the map. This 4 Stalkers going to push these Adepts away, and it looks like these Stalkers do get pushed out, and the shield battery's not done yet.
Yeah, the shield battery was a little bit too late. 7, 8, 9 probes go down. This Oracle more than paying for itself. Prince finally deals some damage.
Oh my days, indeed. But if you look at the army tab, Trap, he's got more than double the supply of Prince, and the supply that... actually,
mate, the Stalkers are busting through the wall. They're gonna break in, and there's nothing here to defend. Warp Gate only just now finished. He needs to warp in.
This is rough. He's gonna need some Stalkers himself. He hasn't got his second Oracle just come in, like, but it looks like with those unpowered shield batteries, this is rough.
Mate, it feels bad, man. The shield batteries are not powered. The Stalkers almost get surrounded, but again, they will be able to take down both of these Stalkers. As you said, there were Stalkers that had defended. GG gets called. Trap takes it. He's going to be our champion.
Indeed, and again, I did not expect after seeing 9 probes go down for a 1-base Protoss that they would be the winner, but Trap just very decisive, and we saw that the army difference, it came into effect there as not only, you know, Adepts not better versus Stalkers, but the Adepts weren't even home.
They weren't even home, mate. They were getting picked off in the middle of the map. They really couldn't really come into play. They were distracting the Stalkers, but the Stalkers, they just kept going. They just went for that counterattack, and there was nothing at home to defend. Warp Gate was delayed because of the prioritization of that Stargate. It's a bit of a feels bad, man. It was also a shame that we had 2 shield batteries, but they were being powered by only 1 pylon. And somehow, someway, Trap knew, and that's the pylon that was focusing down on the ramp. And, like, that was just kind of game then and there. Oh my god.
Dude, yeah, maybe if those shield batteries are powered by an extra pylon, you know, the 2 Stalkers could have made a stand there, but in the end, it looks like Trap just decisive, jumps on any opportunity he sees, and Print, that was kind of the moment, you know, he lost so many workers, he had the army, not only did he have such the higher, the better army, but those Oracles were out of energy and couldn't really assist at home, so he just took control and just Prince had nothing to deal with it.
Yeah, he had nothing at all. Oof, Trap, GG, well played, showing his dominance in this matchup, and it makes sense. Trap, he is one of the best Protoss players in the entire world, and he's able to show the difference between a player like Trap and a player like Prince here. Again, though, Prince did show a lot of, like, a lot of brilliance, like leading up to the finals. I was very impressed. But at the same time, we were talking about it. We did see a very different Prince here in the finals as well. Like he did attempt to adapt his style to Trap, and we saw him struggle a little bit more.
Yeah, and we have to say, as we said, Prince, even though he kind of changed things up against Trap, and it didn't work out at all in the first game. You know, that second game he looked really close to taking it, and
yeah.
the third game as well. He was in a sublime position. We have to say, I wouldn't have expected it to be that close. A 3-0 does not represent how close that series actually was, and I think Prince, even though he didn't take a game off Trap, he can hold his head higher, knowing that he kind of pushed Trap to his limits in a couple of those games.
Oh yeah, he really did. He really did. I was very impressed with how Prince performed here, and I look forward to seeing more of him as well. I look forward to seeing him return in future editions of this tournament to see if he can kind of reprise his role here and make it to the finals once again. I want to see him against some of these other players as well. Clearly, like PvP, like he is like a force to be reckoned with in PvP. But what about the other matchups? You know, how would he compare against a Terran player or a Zerg player, like your Beyonds or like your Dongray Goose? Yeah, I want to see more Prince.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And I told you, like, he's my friend. We're besties. We're tight. I knew he would do so well. But I think that, you know, this is just the first Ascension Cup. And I hope that we can, you know, see more of them. So shout out to Password for organizing it and inviting such good, you know, these wonderful players. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see Armani, didn't get to see any DRG who got taken out early on. But it's good seeing these players who we didn't really think of as top contenders in this bracket. Really kind of, you know, upset. Like Farmy, like shout out to Farmy for taking out DRG 2-1, because DRG is a very good player.
Farmy is the unsung hero of this tournament. Like I'm sure Prince is like, thank you so much, Farmy. He's like, thank you so much for taking DRG out. That would have been a hard one, mate. Would have been harder than the PvP that we had. So I'm sure he's happy about it. But yeah, like Farmy popped off. It was great to see, and yeah, I like this tournament because it was able to showcase some players that we're not used to seeing, right? And it gives them a little bit of a platform to kind of show off a little bit.
For sure, definitely. And I think the players would appreciate too. As always, having these tournaments to get involved with, and hopefully we could get Solar, as you said. Solar loves these online tournaments, and some other players to sign up. Hopefully more Zergs, fingers crossed. But if not, just any players around this caliber, I'll be happy to watch and even cast.
Definitely. I hope everyone was able to enjoy themselves, our players, our viewers as well. And I mean, I know you were giving a shout out to Password, but also a shout out to SuperExtra as well, as Team Super is the sponsor of this tournament. You may have heard of Team Super. They've been making a little bit of a splash. They haven't officially announced themselves, so if you know, you know. But Team Super is a new team that debuted less than a week ago. They haven't made a big announcement on social media yet, but they have been picking up a lot of players, and they have been funding a lot of tournaments.
Indeed. So it's good that not only are they, you know, supporting players that they pick up, but also supporting the scene as a whole by having these tournaments available for players, and especially in 2022, when you still got a very dedicated, you know, player base, and they get rewarded for being able to play in tournaments like this. I'm sure for a lot of players too, like we have people like Percival who dominate, you know, some of the lesser cups. He got knocked out by Trap, unfortunately, in round 2, and Armani didn't even show up. We didn't get to see Bjorn Armani, but just the bracket was very stacked, and it's very it's very promising to see that there's this interest in these cups. And so big shout out to Team Super, I believe.
Super Team,
that's it, correct. My apologies. Is it a new team? I'm not in the know, you know, so
yeah.
so chill out, like, you bully. But No, it's fantastic.
Definitely. Oh god. And with that, congratulations to all of our players again. I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing. I'm unsure with how frequent these Ascension Cups are going to be, but I'm sure we're going to get more information about that as time goes on. Password, he just said that second edition will be coming very soon, so maybe it will be a weekly, I don't know. But regardless, we will be there to cast it. So if you want to tune into the next Ascension Cup, if you want to tune into more StarCraft tournaments in general, then follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We have a lot of StarCraft.
A lot indeed, Light. Thank you for having me on. And you poor thing, you cast too much and you have been observing all day. Thank you for your dedication. People don't realize this is... it's not just talking over a game, you know, there's a lot going on behind the scenes as well, organising the backdrop and the stream, so I think you deserve a bit of praise in that regard, because you don't give it enough. So, thank you, and thank you viewers. I'm outie.
Oh, he's gone to bench, mate. He's just
still here, man. I got my blanket. But it is quite late indeed.
It is. I was about to say, mate, you say that I've been casting all day, mate. The night is young. We casted this morning. We casted this morning. Got by Hyperion. Here this evening, we casted Ascension Cup. Our next cast is going to be in 4 hours. I got chases like, god damn it, man, what are you doing?
Oh my god, and I'm the DJ.
Our next cast is going to be in 4 hours. We are going to be casting, let me get the name correct here. There is a brand new Polish circuit, a Polish land circuit actually, that was announced at the beginning of the year. If I quickly check here, it is going to be the eSpot SC2 circuit. The very first qualifier for this circuit is starting in 4 hours. I'll be casting that alongside Kuro in English.
My chair almost fell. Kuro. That'll be exciting indeed. I want to say I'm tuned in, but I got a job now, you know.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is gonna be the first of many, because there's a qualifier today. I think there's a qualifier in another couple of days, and another qualifier in another couple of days, and then there is the offline event itself. There are a bunch of LANs that are being organized in Poland now that, you know, COVID restrictions are lifting, and the Polish scene is thriving. So if you want to tune into players like Mana, if you want to tune into players like Elaser, Geralt, Art, Cristiano, who else? Nurchio showed up in the last one. Kuro.
Kuro is playing.
Kuro, Snorlax. Who else? Rail is there. There's just so many Polish players. I'm trying to think of the others. There's so many Protoss ones as well. Papi is there. Rojin is there. And yeah, we had a little bit of a special guest, Nurchio, the retired Foreign Hope Zerg player. He actually showed up randomly. He's not playing seriously, but he just wanted to be a part of the community, wanted to be a part of the scene, so he was there.
Getting involved.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, for sure. So stick around, guys. Tune into it. Oh, it's cold. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. Chase, where can people find more of you?
On Twitch at Chase_SC2. I stream once, 4 months, I think maybe 3 months now. Yes. Can you say hi? Where can people find you, like?
Shaking my head. Yes, Chase is also Jackson_Calvi on Twitter if you want to follow him there. Docs, mate. Docs.
Sorry, like my head is. I had like 3 hours of sleep now.
I told you to have a nap. Oh god. But yeah, you can follow Chase there on Twitter. He's a great guy, so you should give him a bit of a follow. Meanwhile, you can follow me at light_VIP. You can see me up there on Twitch and Twitter. I stream throughout the week. I stream ladder sessions. You can watch me struggle against Protoss. Struggle horribly.
Struggle is an understatement, Knight. I have to be honest.
I started laddering on Korea, and my win rate on Korea against Protoss is 22%. So it's
I'm gonna verify this right now.
it's even lower, mate. It's even
Oh
lower.
my god, your ZVZ is so good.
Yeah, that's what's
We gotta
keeping
fix
that's
this.
what's keeping me up, mate. My ZVZ is carrying me.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
That's okay, you'll get there.
Oh god. We'll see, we'll see. So you can follow me there at @VIP, but if you want to tune in to more casting, then that is here on the CranKy Ducklings. Oh, hold on. Okay. Yes,
I've
yes,
got
you
the
can.
duck.
Yes, sorry, quack, quack. You can follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast North American StarCraft, Latin American, Korean, Oceanic. We are live almost every single day of the week with plenty of StarCraft available to you. And we have plenty of casting duos as well. It's not just always me and Chase. Darking is there sometimes, Cristiano, Yakuzaku, Steel Mode. Sometimes Kuro comes in, as she will later on. Sometimes we have Milk. Sometimes we have some other guest casters. Maybe Asherbur one day. I don't know if he needs to work on his his Terran apologist attitude. It's disgusting.
Unbelievable.
Shaking my head. But yeah, there's plenty of casting going on here, so hit that follow button. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, and we will see you guys in 4 hours. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
Bye.